Welcome to another episode of Live Life by Design. This is your host, Jeff Mendez. Today we have another special guest with us in the house. We have Mr. Jared Chichia in La Casa. Jared, how you doing today?
Good, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, pleasure. So we met a while back. It was actually on the golf course. And when I first met you, you gave me a gift, and it was all golf related. So you have a golf brand, you have a jewelry store. Just kind of tell us what you're up to, and then we'll start here, and then I want to go back to your childhood to see how we got here. But
Okay.
Where are we now? What do you do? What are you up to? And we'll go from there.
Yeah, so I started JCF Co. We specialize in custom jewelry, and then with a few friends of mine, we started a golf brand, kind of based around a little golf pendant marker that you pull out and mark your ball with. And I mean, we kind of branched down to like accessories like head covers and some golf towels, and
Okay,
just kept on
so
going from
let's
there.
start with jewelry. How did you get into the world of jewelry?
I kind of stumbled across it, to be honest. So I went on a soul-searching trip to Mexico right after high school, and when I came back, a buddy of mine was going to take a course for a dental tech, to be a dental tech. So he told me, like, hey, come join me. Like, you can. It's a 6-month course. You take it, and then they guarantee you a job, and then you work in a lab, and then you can eventually own your own lab. And I knew at the time that I wanted to be my own boss, and I wanted to have something of my own. So I thought it was a great opportunity for me. I knew I didn't want to go to school. Like, school's just not for me.
Why?
I was never really good at it. I mean, I was the guy that would turn in all my assignments last minute to go from an F to a C+. So, I mean, I just never was really good at it. I was the kid in the back kind of just daydreaming, not really paying attention. So I took the course, got a job at a lab. I worked there for about a year and a half and realized that was the worst mistake I ever made. I mean, it was just not for me. But I had all these skills that I learned from the dental. So I learned how to wax carve, I learned how to cast, and I had to find a way to use them somehow. I had a friend that mentioned, he's like, well, why don't you look into jewelry? It's the same process. You can translate it pretty easily. So I did some research. I had a family friend, childhood friend, whose dad owned a jewelry store in Provo. So I went in, I talked to him. I said, hey, I work at a dental lab. I got some skills with my hands. I love to learn. Like, I want to get out of there. I want to transition into jewelry. He told me, like, hey, yeah, you can come in, but I mean, I can't pay you. You're welcome to learn as much as you can. So, like, feel free to come in. So I ended up quitting my job cold turkey. I don't recommend it. My circumstances kind of led me to that point. But quit my job cold turkey and jumped right in with him. I mean, they kind of specialize in more like heirloom pieces. So I wasn't really able to learn as much. So, I mean, I was mostly just like cleaning tools, doing like light polishing.
With no pay?
No pay.
How long were you there with no pay?
I never got paid when I was there. So, I mean, that kind of forced me to start JCF just because.
But how long was it? I just want to know. I want the viewers to understand.
So I was there for about a year and a half.
With no pay?
No pay.
Well, so we need to unpack that. So tell us, how and why did you justify working for somebody for quote unquote free? Obviously you were gaining experience, you were gaining, know-how, but you were receiving no salary, no commission. How is that justifiable in your world?
Well,
what was the end goal behind this?
Well, I had to learn. I had to go from the dental industry to the jewelry industry. And I got to learn not just from the bench jeweler himself, but from the store owner as well. How to
run the store itself.
How to run the store itself. And then also it forced me to build my own clientele and sell my own jewelry.
Oh.
Because that's how I was making money at the time.
So you were moonlighting a little bit.
Yeah. Which, I mean, he was totally fine with. He's not paying me.
Yeah.
So
how did that work? You were basically gaining a clientele list that you would eventually monetize on once you opened up your own shop?
Yeah. So basically, I would go out and find my own clients. So, for example, I mean, at that time, it was like family. So, mom wanted to ring, hey, I'll make it for you. It costs this much. Aunt
Okay.
wanted to ring, cost this
Were you
much.
able to make money that way?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how I was making some income. I mean, it wasn't much, but it was something, and I was able to build experience because, I mean, I couldn't really work on their rings as much because if anything was to go wrong, I mean,
You're liable.
I'm liable, and they can't be replaced because,
Yeah.
like I said, this is a lot of heirloom.
Pieces. So let me ask you this. In your mind, did you justify it? Again, maybe I'm off, maybe I'm on. But did you basically say, I could A, go to college and not be making money and I'm paying to go to college. I'm actually taking money out of my pocket and I'm paying an institution to learn. Or I can take this route for a year and a half. I'm not paying, but I'm not receiving income. Is that how you justified it? Is this kind of your college degree?
Well, I kind of justified it in the sense of I already learned all these skills and now I have to put them to work.
Yep.
I'm not doing it in the dental industry, but my last resort is jewelry. And at that point, I was passionate about it. I mean, I love jewelry. I always loved jewelry. I was always drawn to it.
Yep. But I believe there's an important lesson here. And sometimes I don't, since you're the one that went through it, maybe you don't realize some of the things that you did. But quite often we want that fast pass. We want the immediate reward, right? You were willing to pause for at least a year and a half before you started generating your own income. You paid the price so you could capture the moment later, right? It's the law of the harvest. You can't reap what you don't sow. So quite often we need to make those sacrifices that are required so that we can be in a position to monetize or to take, receive bounty from the things that, we're passionate about, we want to learn from. But quite often, if we don't get those immediate results, that quit factor sets in.
Yeah.
So the twin killers of success were impatience and greed. You had to be patient through the process. You weren't greedy. You weren't demanding a paycheck. You actually saw the value in the training that you were receiving, and that allowed you to build your own enterprise.
Yeah, and I mean, I went in with the sponge mentality. I went in. It's like I'm just gonna absorb as much as I can. I'm gonna learn as much as I can, to the point where all right, well, I think I've reached my peak here, and the bench jeweler at the time told me, well, if you really, really want to learn, find a manufacturer, go work for a manufacturer, because there you're gonna get the reps. You're able to mess up, and it just gets remade, and you get to try it again.
Yeah.
So I was able to find a manufacturer in Draper, and went and worked there for 3 years.
Yeah, and listen, my brain keeps spinning. I deal with a lot of sales folks, sales companies, et cetera, and there's a lot of quitting out there. Like if a person doesn't make a sale in the first week, month, et cetera, quit. Or some guys will go out for a season and they didn't perform the way they thought they would perform, and then they quit, and they don't monetize on that training that they got done in year one. Yeah. Right? That's your pay the piper year. So again, be patient with the law of the harvest, and you got to make sacrifices so that you can live uphill. I always say this: people want uphill living, but then they have downhill habits. They quit way before the reward starts to set in.
Yeah, and when I was working at the mom and pop shop, I mean, we would have, I would say, one person every 3 weeks would come in kind of asking for the same thing. Like, hey, I want to learn, I want to do this. They would last like maybe 2 days. It's a grueling process. It's.
Do you regret it?
No, not at all. Not at all.
When you were, how many times did you think about quitting though in that year and a half that you were working for free?
I mean, in that year and a half, there were some pretty dark moments. Not dark in a sense. There were some deals because at this point I'm self-funding my whole deal. I'm self-funding everything. All the pieces that I'm making, I'm self-funding. So I had a few deals that went sour. Well, not sour. They just didn't work out. The client ended up not paying and taking the piece.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I mean, I took some bad L's there. So I ended up having, at that time, I was going to Savers a lot because at that time you could go to Savers and find gold for pretty cheap.
Wow.
So I would spend a lot of time at Savers trying to find pieces that I could work on. So far to the point where I got down so bad that I ended up getting a part-time job at Savers. And my job was sorting the gold and putting the gold out there. So I got first dibs on everything.
Wow.
So I did that for about three months while I was working with the mom and pop shop as well.
Yeah, it just sounds like you're super passionate about this industry. And it's, I mean, I don't know, hats off to you for like actually putting everything where your mouth is, like your heart, your soul, like your money, everything to have this business that you have today. So talk to us about your company. What's the name of the company?
JCF Co.
Okay.
So basically, it's just my initials. So it's Jared Chichia Flores. And it's just basically, I was kind of forced to do it because, like I said, I had to build my own clientele because, I mean, I wasn't getting paid there.
Yep.
So I had to go out and find my own stuff. Once I started getting to the manufacturer, though, they allowed me, so they weren't paying me much, but they were allowing me to use all their equipment. So that really fast-tracked my whole growth because I'll clock in from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., work for them. I mean, we were producing, I think on average, about 220 rings a day. And it was like a group of about, I want to say 15 to 20 jewelers at the time. And so I would clock in, clock out at 2, and then work on my own customs or my own custom jobs that I had at the time. And it kind of opened my eyes and my ability because now I was able, if I got an order in, I was able to have a print ready to cast the next day. So as soon as that deposit was done, that piece was going to be done in less than a week. And it was really able for me to fast track my whole growth.
Got it. And so how long have you owned JCF Jewelry?
So legally, I started the business in 2020. But I mean, I started when I went and worked with that mom and pop shop in 2015.
Got it. Okay. And then, so you do custom pieces mainly?
Yeah, custom pieces.
And then how does it work? Do you have a clientele that keeps coming back and says, Jared, I need this for this. I need this for...
I have. So I don't do any marketing. All my client base is word of mouth referrals. I found that that's the best way to go because, I mean, my clients are my biggest billboard. They're my biggest supporters. Yep. They're telling all their friends.
Is that kind of one of your strategies? Hey, I don't want to do a lot of marketing, so this is more of a word of mouth type thing and more exclusive?
Yeah, well, I mean, buying jewelry is very, very personal and very trust based. So I mean, I just found that if you see me on an ad, you're not very likely to come to me. But if you hear it from your best friend, or you hear it from your mom, or you hear it from your sister, hey,
this is my guy.
Go see Jared. He really helped me, saved me X amount of dollars, built my wife's ring. Like everything worked out great. You're more likely to come and reach out.
Yeah. So you do a fantastic job at making sure you take care of your clients. So that referral train is.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of had to.
Yeah.
I mean, at the very beginning, I mean, it's hard to gain trust. So really, you have to base it off customer service and having the best service.
Yeah. So unpack that for us. Tell us your philosophy, your guiding principles regarding customer service.
I mean, you really want to try to put the client first. You want to make sure you're guiding them through the process. Like at the end of the day, you can't tell them how to spend their dollar. You got to kind of be an advisor in a sense, and make sure that they're getting the best bang for their buck and the best value for their dollar as well. So, I mean, I'm not a great salesman. I'm terrible at salesman. I just try to guide you through the process, whether it's, all right, if you want to go with that 2-carat natural, or you want to go with that 1-carat natural, or you want to jump into a lab. That decision's up to you. I'm just here to kind of lay it all out for you.
Which makes you a good salesperson, by the way, because you're guiding the person through the process.
I guess so.
You're a tour guide versus just a mere travel agent. And it sounds like, I mean, really good salespeople, what they do is they eliminate all the pressure. When there's pressure in the transaction, that's where customers opt out. But when you can relieve pressure and people feel comfortable with you, that's sales at its finest. So congrats, you're a really good salesperson, even though you didn't know that. Okay, let's pivot. Well, we're not done with the jewelry piece. I want to keep going back, but now let's talk about golf a little bit. Your Sonny Golf brand. Why the name Sonny Golf?
So we kind of workshop a few names. Sonny just kept coming back. So Sonny's the name of my son. Um, so it's just kind of a play on that, and it's a play on like being out in the sunshine, just having a great day at golf, and also ties back to my son.
And then how many partners do you have in that business?
So we have, so it's myself and 3 partners.
Got it. So 4 total.
4 total. Yeah. So I picked up golf, I want to say like 2021, kind of right after COVID. Started picking up golf and really loving it. And then I had a client that reached out to me that wanted to get himself like a graduation gift. And he was one of my golf buddies too. And he's like, I wanted to be kind of golf related. So we workshopped a few ideas. He said he wanted a pendant, but wanted a multifunctional pendant. So, I mean, I kind of workshopped some ideas, and we ended up coming off with the ball marker that comes out and it goes back into the pendant so you can wear it on a daily.
That's cool.
And then I brought my brother along, my younger brother, and he kind of built the logo, built the website, and we went full force there. And then my friend, Cody Epps, he reached out to me and said, hey, like, I love everything you guys are doing. I want to join. Like, how can I join? So then he came on board, and then I brought, Trey? So Trey Rose. I brought him as creative director, and now he's kind of helping us.
That's cool.
Direct it.
That's awesome. What's your vision with Sonny Golf? Where do you want to take it?
I mean, we kind of not joke around, but we kind of say, all right, well, the end goal is we have our own 9-hole course, headquarters, and we're just making great golf stuff and playing golf all day. That's cool. That's the end goal.
That's cool. All right, let's go back to jewelry now. So how does it work? I'm just interested in the whole process, and I've always loved jewelry as well. So does somebody go in and it's just more of a creative experience, or are there things that they can just pick out there at the shop? How does it work?
So there's different types of clients. There's clients that already have, like, for example, in the bridal space, there's clients that have gone to every single jewelry store. They know exactly what they want. They know exactly what stone they want, what design they want, and everything is just, all right, this is what it is. I need it done. And then I have some clients that really want to be through the whole process. They want to design the whole ring, whether it's a sketch.
And you can do that.
Yeah.
You can design there.
We can go
from scratch.
From A to Z.
And do you have all the equipment in-house, or do you have to use a third party to get some of the manufacturing done?
So when I was working at the manufacturer, it really, after COVID, really opened my eyes, because we all got furloughed, and I lost access to all the equipment. So in 2020, it kind of was a light bulb moment for me, and I started buying my own equipment. I worked there for another 2.5 years after that, and was just stockpiling, buying my equipment.
Stockpiling mainly cash, so you can buy your equipment, correct?
Well, stockpiling equipment, so buying equipment. Every time I would get some cash, I'd buy some equipment.
Got it.
And then after that, it got to the point where, so it's kind of funny. So when I was working there, towards the end, we would have so many orders in that I was paying the jewelers that were working at the shop on top, like, all right, when you're done working, like, I'll pay you X amount of dollars to help me with these pieces. So there were some days where I would have like 3 to 4 jewelers working overtime for me. And then it got to the point where I kind of outgrew it, and now I got to do my own thing. So I found I was going to bring up one of those jewelers with me. He was going to come with me, and we're going to start our own thing.
And so I have a friend whose brother is going to jewelry school. Is that a real thing?
Yeah, so there's multiple. There's like GIA is one of the most, like.
Do you have to go to jewelry school?
No, you don't have to.
It's more than anything to prep you, but it's not a license or anything, is it?
No, you don't need a license. I mean, it gives you credibility. If you want to go work at like a prestigious jewelry house, they kind of look for that.
Oh, really?
But also, it's not required. The jeweler that was going to come with me, he ended up not coming with me because he got hired by OC Tanner. So he ended up going to work for OC Tanner.
And then those guys are the ones that put the pieces together, the ones that basically go from the manufacturing front to customizing the pieces, correct?
Yeah, OC Tanner.
The guys that go to jewelry school.
Yeah, so mostly you can go for multiple reasons. One of the reasons can be you can be like a gemologist. So
Okay, got it.
you're looking at different stones and you're an expert in that aspect.
So you can basically quote on how much those pieces are worth.
Yeah,
do
you can
estimates.
be an expert. You can look. You can give appraisals
Got it.
and do all that type of stuff. Or you can do the bench jeweler side of it, which is the actual manufacturing of the piece.
Mm-hmm. And then I notice you're wearing a lot of non-gold. Do you not like gold?
I like gold. I mix it all the time. I kind of just been a lot of I work with a lot of younger people, and I've noticed their trend is kind of shifting to silver. So they kind of just
It's probably because they can't afford that gold, huh?
it's a mix of both. It's a mix of both. I think they say they prefer silver, but I think one of the main reasons is probably because of that as well. But also, I have some clients that are younger too that opt for white gold. So, I mean, they're still buying the gold, but still white look.
Got it. And then talk to us about the price of gold. It's on an all-time high right now.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts there?
It's a crazy time. I mean, unprecedented for sure. I mean, we've never seen gold rise this much in a single year, and we're not even done with the year. So it's...
Any theories as to why that's occurring?
There's multiple reasons. I mean, everything that's going on in the world. I mean, just whenever there's unstable uncertainty, gold prices tend to rise. But I mean, these last few, actually ever since COVID, gold has just been.
When you first started, what
up.
was gold trading at? Not in 2015, but 2020 when JCF really became a thing.
So I was buying an ounce of gold for just under $1,900.
Okay.
Right now we're at $3,650.
Crazy. Where do you think it's going? Any predictions?
So, I mean, a lot of experts are saying 4,000 by the end of the year.
But before the year turns to 2026.
Yeah, they said we're going to break 4,000.
In this last quarter, a lot of percentage points going up.
Yeah.
Well, crazy. Talk to us about the beginning. How'd you grow up? Talk to us about your family. You already mentioned that school was not a thing, and I actually want to unpack that a little bit. But just talk to us about the younger Jared.
Oh man.
What were you into? What were your guiding principles as a youth?
I mean, I grew up playing soccer, so I was very much involved in team sports my whole upbringing.
And did you grow up in Utah?
Yeah, I grew up in the Springville, Mapleton area.
Okay. What club did you play with?
So I played with Rangers.
Rangers, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so I grew up playing with Rangers. I mean, it was great. I played goalkeeper. I was kind of stuck because no one really wanted to be goalkeeper, and I was really good at it. I never really liked it, but I mean, I was just pretty good at it.
Yeah.
So I never really, and then a lot of my friends that played with me, I mean, they were all getting college offers and going pro by the age of like 16.
Mm-hmm.
So after 16, I realized, all right, well, I'm not going to make it in soccer.
So playing a lot of soccer, played goalie. What was your first entrepreneurial endeavor?
I mean, I never really had any. I knew I wanted to own my own thing. I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just didn't know how.
And why was that? Why was that itch there?
I just was never really good at listening to people. I was kind of a stubborn kid. And I knew I wasn't going to make it in that aspect. So I knew if I was going to do anything, and it would have to be on my own. I ended up, so my senior year in high school, my grandma got cancer, and they gave her 6 months to live.
Oof.
So my uncle, and I only met him like twice prior to this point. He lives in Mexico. He ended up coming and staying with us for those 6 months, and we kind of built a bond. And this guy he's a badass. I mean, self-made, dropped out of school at the age of 12. I mean, owns multiple companies, 300 plus employees, like just a total self-made man.
Yep.
So I mean, I really bonded and kind of was like, all right, well, and you know, when you're a senior in high school, you're you're getting pulled all these ways. You're trying to figure out, all right, well, what's my next step? What's it going to be? It's not going to be sports. I know it's not going to be school. So I really need to figure out what I'm going to do. So we had a lot of late night talks. He was living with us at the time. So, we had a lot of late night talks, built a great bond. And he's the one that told me, he's like, hey, come to Mexico with me. Like you can come live with me. You can stay as long as you want, and you can just shadow me. I was like, say less. Yeah, let's go. So I ended up, after my grandma passed away, we had the funeral. I finished high school, and then we jumped on a plane and left. I kind of see it more as like a soul searching trip, trying to figure out who I was. And that really kind of got me more into like, all right, entrepreneurship is the way I got to go. Seeing what he had, seeing how he did it. And again, I went in with the sponge mentality. All right, I'm going to go with him. I'm going to try to.
What was he doing as an entrepreneur, your uncle?
So he has tow trucks. He has, they call them madrinas, like car haulers.
Yep.
So he in a logistics company, he works with Nissan, Volkswagen.
And he was done with school from age 12 forward, is what you said?
Yeah, so he dropped out of school at age 12. Everyone thought he was going to be a nobody. He was going to be a drunk or dead.
Yeah.
And this guy built his company from the ground up. So, I knew like, all right, well, going to school, it's not going to help me, but being with someone that actually built something that I want to build for myself is going to be the best.
What lessons did you learn?
Hard work for sure. Hard work and really putting the blinders on and just not listening to anybody. Really putting your front foot forward, and if you want to achieve something, you really got to rely on yourself to do it, because no one else is going to do it for you, and no one knows you anything. So, if you want to accomplish something, you got to put in the work.
Yeah, so that's beautiful. So, one thing that I think about all the time, and I'm sure you agree with me here, but when I see a straight A student, usually what that tells me more than anything is that they know how to follow orders. They know how to get into a system, and they know how to go from point A to point Z. But it's usually folks with, your philosophy that are against the status quo. They're against the regulations, the bureaucracy, the red tape, that are the entrepreneurs of this world. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is, parents out there, be a little bit maybe open-minded. If your kids are not bringing in a straight A report card, it could mean that they're bored because their DNA and their brains are waiting or thirsty for something more. I did really well in school, but I wanted to get. I got college done in 3 years. I graduated in 3 years. I just wanted out. I did it because I knew that I needed that pass to be able to get into the quote unquote real world. But I just got it out of the way as an entrepreneur so that I could go monetize on what was next, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I even look back at my high school and the kids that were like straight A students, like straight arrow, they're kind of more in a employee type of position, and the guys that were more little bit more rebellious, so to speak, are the ones that are entrepreneurs, owning companies, are CEOs, so forth and so on. So just another perspective. Hopefully that's a little bit helpful for us parents out there if our kids are not bringing in those straight A report cards.
Yeah, and at the time when I was in Mexico, there was a lot of taxi drivers with college degrees. So, they get the degree. It's a degree in something that, you can't really monetize or do anything with, so you just are forced to just get a regular job.
Yeah, and listen, it's like, that the school system's super archaic. It's still assembly line type work, right? So it's like, I think sometimes when we're so used to that system, that structure, like, tell me what it requires to get an A, I'll do that. So, maybe these folks that had these degrees are like, okay, tell me what I need to do in this taxi. Like, they're just waiting to be told what to do so they can follow. And the entrepreneurs are just outside of that structure.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. And you're also kind of forced. You're forced to build something. You're forced to do something. You have two routes. If you're rebellious, you have two routes. You can either go down the path of doing nothing and just being a nobody, or building the thing that you've just been daydreaming about.
Yep. So you're in Mexico. You learn hard work. You learn to put the blinders on. You learn that nobody's going to come save you. You got to do it for yourself. When do you leave Mexico? When do you come back? Talk to us about that experience.
So I was there for just under 2 years.
Were you getting paid there?
Yeah, I was getting paid there. I was getting paid there and free housing.
Good.
And free food.
Good.
Yeah. And it was, I don't know if he did it purposely, but he kind of gave me a taste of what life could be. Because, I mean, he lives a very plush life. So he kind of gave me a taste like, all right, this is what you can achieve. It's achievable. And when you see it with someone that you're related with, it's even more achievable, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
So I knew I wanted to mimic that lifestyle. I wanted something for my own. So
what was it about that lifestyle that attracted you the most?
It was really just having a vision and seeing it through and seeing it done. I mean, he was the type of guy that just, he had an idea and he would try to make it a reality in a month or less. I mean, not all of them succeeded, but a lot of them did. So I knew I wanted to do that, but I also knew I didn't want to live in Mexico for the rest of my life. So I came back, and that's when my friend was doing that dental tech course. He was like, all right, this is a 6-month course. And then after the 6 months, you're guaranteed a job. And then after that, you could work there for 2 years and own your own dental lab and get your own clients.
Yeah, so your strategy was from the beginning to be an owner.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this, Jared. Do you think you could be an employee today? Could you work at a company?
I don't think so. I mean, I did it. I mean,
I'm saying today, though.
Oh, no.
Why not?
I made the jump in 2023. I said, all right, this is my Michael Jordan year. If I'm not going to do it now, I'm never going to do it. So I made the jump and haven't looked back since.
Why? That's cool. Why do you think you could not be an employee? I could not be an employee. I'm just curious as to what your take is.
It's just, once you get a taste, you just can't go back.
Is it the freedom piece?
It's a freedom. It's being able to do what you want. It's being able to put your money where your mouth is. It's the opportunities that the freedom gives you. But
it comes with a price.
Oh, for sure.
Like, have you ever stared bankruptcy in the face?
Not bankruptcy, but I mean, in the jewelry industry, I mean, you're always going all in.
Have you ever worried about making payroll for your people?
No.
You will at some point, because that's the journey of an entrepreneur, by the way.
That's one thing my uncle really drilled into my head. The people are the number one thing. Like, you take care of your people first. Like, you don't eat, but you make sure your people are taken care of. So that's one thing I've really had ingrained in me. But I mean, there's been a lot of days we've been eating toast. Let's just say that.
So you've been able to make payroll every single time, but at the home front, you may not have been able to buy the groceries that you'd like to buy.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, you make the sacrifices.
Yeah, listen, but it's part of the entrepreneurial journey. You know, we say this all the time. Being an entrepreneur is escaping 1,000+ deaths. And if you haven't had to escape death, you're not a true entrepreneur. Like, There's no single entrepreneurial story where it went from zero to ultimate success in a linear fashion. It's this. It's a lot of craziness. It's a lot of up and downs. And being an entrepreneur is being able to go from failure to failure, from failure to failure to failure, with extreme optimism that you'll get through on the other side. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I honestly wouldn't choose it any other way.
So I know you have at least one kid, Sonny. How many kids total do you have?
Yeah, so I have Sonny. He's 3, and then my daughter, she's 7, Luna, and then my oldest is my stepdaughter, and she's 13.
Okay, got it. Beautiful. Talk to us about being a dad. Like, what's your definition of being a father, being a dad?
Yeah, I mean, it's the greatest joy. It really is. I know it sounds a little cliche, but there's no better satisfaction than having your children, and the way they just look at you and the way that they admire you is second to none. It also comes with a lot of responsibility because, I mean, your life, you're responsible for these people's lives. Like one thing is having employees or having to worry about that jeweler. There's another thing, making sure your kids succeed and making sure they make something of their lives.
What do you want for your kids?
I don't want to force it. I really want, I mean, whether it's my kids or nieces or nephews, I want someone to carry on my legacy. I want someone to carry on the jewelry brand.
What are you doing strategically to make sure that occurs? I know they're young, but
yeah, they're young.
Time flies by.
I try to keep them close. I try to keep them engaged. Like, for example, I have my home office, and when I'm in the house, like sort of color matching stones or something, my daughter will come in, and she seems like the most curious one. She's also 7, so it might be that Sonny's a little too young, but she likes to hang out in Daddy's office quite a bit.
That's cool. So you talk about the business, you involve in the business as much as you can. How do you envision school for them? Because I already know your philosophy on school. What's your philosophy on their schooling?
I try to be very hands-off. I try to be, and again, they're young. Well, I can talk for my stepdaughter. My stepdaughter, she's a straight A student. She gets all her assignments done. She seems like school route is going to be good for her. It also depends on what you're trying to do. There's a lot of people that aren't built for entrepreneurship, and maybe it's not the best route for them.
Yeah, so unpack that. Why do you say that? Why do you say that some people are not designed or meant to be entrepreneurs?
It's a different breed. You got to be a different type of person. You gotta be able to live a little bit on the edge and be able to make it through. Because a lot of people just get crushed under the pressure. A lot of people just can't handle it, and they rather have the security and be like, all right, well, somebody's telling me what to do, or a blueprint of what I need to do.
Talk to us about some of the pressures you've faced and that you've been able to punch through.
Okay.
And I know a lot of entrepreneurs have failure amnesia. They forget that pressure. They just work through it. But there's got to be a few times, Jared, where you've been like, man, this is heavy, and you've been able to get through that stuff. What are some of those moments?
I mean, I always got those moments when it's, all right, well, client A is a little late on the payment. Piece has already been delivered. And then there's 2 other pieces on the pipeline, and we got to buy the gold. If we don't buy the gold, then the gold price is going to go up. I already quoted it at this certain price. So, all right, we got to put our money where our mouth is and just kind of go for it.
Oof. Do you have a lot of are your accounts receivable pretty high? Like, do you have a lot of people not paying still? Or how does that work?
It happens. I mean, some people just pay late. There's been a few times where I haven't been paid, but for the most part, they're pretty good at paying. But yeah, some clients take a little longer than others.
So how does it work? It's like a layaway type situation?
No, usually it's larger accounts. Some larger accounts, they'll put a deposit down, or they'll just completely forget and pay 6 months later.
Do you have like a third-party finance opportunity where they can sign up with them? And
yeah, I mean, more for on the bridal side. So like I think it's a firm. They can go through a firm if they want payments.
And then a firm takes responsibility, so you're
protected,
so
they pay me out fully, and then
they front load you, and then they go collect on the client.
They go collect on the client.
Okay, and then they take a percentage for doing that.
Yeah, I think they charge like 2-3%.
Yeah, but it takes the pressure off you.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, good deal. Okay, you mentioned the word legacy. What does legacy mean to you?
Oh, man. So in the jewelry aspect, I want to be able to build. So when I named JCF, it's my initials, right? So I really want it to be tied to me. So really, the goal is to build a jewelry house that's recognized. I know it's not going to be in my lifetime, because in order to build a jewelry house, a prestigious jewelry house, it takes generations. So for me, it's just building that foundation and that blueprint or that principle into my children, so they can just take the baton and take it to the next level. And they can instill that to their children and take that baton to the next level.
What if they say, Daddy, we don't want to be jewelers? We're out.
That's why I say
Not
nieces,
us.
and nieces and nephews too. Keep it in the family. There's got to be one person.
There's got to be one there. I like that. Who are some of your mentors, or who are some of these jewelry houses that you're like, man, they're the gold standard, for lack of a better term?
I mean, being a hip hop guy, Jacob and Co.
They're out of New York mainly, correct?
Yeah, they're in New York. Well, he's all over now.
Is he?
Yeah, he's transitioned a lot more into watches. He's got stores in Dubai. But Jacob, is
JCF going to be in Dubai?
I hope so. I think.
You hope, or you know?
I know.
Let's go. Let's go. Like, let's manifest that thing. And manifesting, the best way to manifest is it's done. Instead of I hope, we just say it's done. The universe starts working in that favor. God starts working in that favor. Okay, so Jacob, why Jacob? I mean, obviously they have a massive footprint, but what makes Jacob the GOAT?
Well, in the hip hop sense, like, he just built so many iconic pieces. Like, I mean, work with Pharrell, work with Jay-Z, Biggie, like, just a lot of those iconic pieces came through Jacob. So that's why I say in that aspect. But as a legacy, what I want to be is more of a graph. But they're very prestigious, like high quality.
And what are your thoughts on Pharrell working at Louis Vuitton?
I think it's great. Pharrell's just, his design aspect is I really, really like it. So
Is he one of the tops?
For me, I would say yes. Just, I mean, I can't really think of it right now, but I like what's coming out of Louis Vuitton.
That's cool. So brick and mortar, how does the brick and mortar aspect work in the world of jewelry? Is it a necessity, or can we build the jewelry empire without brick and mortar? How do you see that?
I think you can build it without brick and mortar now. I think that's kind of been proven. I mean, you have like Blue Nile. Blue Nile now does have brick and mortar, but I mean, they started directly just direct to consumer online, and they really opened the doors for that. So you don't really need a brick and mortar anymore.
And then talk to me about diamonds. So you have different ways of sourcing diamonds. You have the ones that are, that are mined the traditional way. Then you have the lab diamonds. So talk to us about that diamond world a little bit. Educate us on that.
Yeah, so you have natural diamonds. So what that means is they're made under the earth, just natural process.
And I know that there's conflict-free diamonds and all that stuff. Is that still a thing or no?
I mean, that was a marketing thing for sure. I mean, it's hard to trace a diamond. Like, it's hard to say this is 100% conflict-free diamond.
Got it.
That's really tough to say. Lab diamonds, you can say that, so that's why that marketing strategy was really pushed onto lab diamonds, just because they're made in a lab, so there's no conflict in the lab. So that's mostly directed at like Africa, where they have kids kind of searching for these stones. They use a lot of mercury.
Yep.
So that kind of ruins a bunch of villages that are around the mines and stuff. So that's kind of what they were referring to when they say conflict. But then again, 80%, 70% of the diamonds come from Russia.
Really?
Yeah. So
I did not know that.
There's a lot of conflict there. So what are you saying? 70% of the diamonds are conflict.
Yep.
And then I think 20% come from Africa.
And then how do you view those naturally sourced diamonds, right, that you mine in the traditional sense versus the lab-made ones? Is there a world of difference, or is it?
So there is a difference. So, for example, when I first started in the industry, lab diamonds were priced anywhere from 10 to 20% cheaper than a natural.
Okay.
Today, we're about 95% cheaper than a natural.
Wait, lab-made diamonds are 95% cheaper than natural?
Yeah, 90 to 95%.
Why?
It's just oversaturated in the market.
Really?
They just started flooding the market, and prices just shot down.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I'm not saying jewelry is an investment. You should never look at jewelry as an investment.
You should not.
No. At the end of the day, jewelry is a luxury. It's a luxury item. Does it hold its value sometimes? Yes, it does. Does it raise in value? It can, but don't look at it as an investment. Um, so I mean,
Why do you say that?
because once you start looking at it as an investment, if, for example, I had people that came in and would buy a 3 carat lab diamond 5 years ago, and let's say they paid $5,000 for it. Today they're getting about 1,000. So they're like, oh well, I thought jewelry was an investment. You don't look at it that way. And I mean, natural diamonds have gone down in price as well. So it's just, if you really want an investment, go into like a solid gold chain, go into something heavy. Or if you really, really want an investment, just buy gold coins.
Yep.
But I mean, if you're buying jewelry, it's mostly because you want to look good, right?
Do you have a source, a good source for buying gold coins? Or
Yeah.
gold in general?
Yeah, I work with a lot of bullion dealers.
What's a good place?
Locally or?
National, local?
I mean, you have JD Bullion. They're out in New York. Just a few refinery places in New York as well. There's some in California that just refine a bunch of gold and they mint their own coins.
That's cool. Yeah, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think sometimes these really customized pieces, people pay a premium for the customization, but then the actual like elements are not worth a lot once you try to trade out of it. Is that correct?
Well, the problem is, you're paying for the labor to make the piece. And if it's a super customized piece...
You're one of the only ones that appreciates that customization.
Exactly. So when someone's buying it, they're buying it for the gold content, and they might give you diamond value depending on how big the stones are and depending on quality. So me as a buyer, I'm looking at, all right, well, let's say, for example, this pendant that I'm buying is 200 grams. I'm only paying for the 200 grams. If it's flooded in diamonds, I'm not seeing it as a diamond value because I'm going to lose 10%. No, maybe not 10%, but 5% is going to be lost when it comes to extracting the stones. So I can't really value that.
And do you do most of that in-house? The extraction, all that stuff?
Yeah.
And are you pretty active in buying from the public?
Yeah, so I'm usually buying anywhere from 1 to twice a week.
Wow. And people just come to you?
Yeah.
And you have a lot of repeat customers there as well?
Yeah, so usually it's a lot of trade into. So they're like, all right, well, I want to trade this into something else.
What's the most expensive piece that you've created? What was the cost of that? Not the retail value.
I work with a lot of like private clients, and so I don't really want to get into numbers.
Don't name names, but tell me a price range. I think it'd be interesting for the viewers.
The most expensive piece to date, probably about $38,000.
$38,000? That's not
bad.
too crazy. What was it? A chain? A watch?
It was a chain. It was a pendant.
It was a pendant. Oh, a pendant, not the chain, just the pendant itself.
The pendant itself.
Cool. And when you say you have a lot of private clients, are a lot of them like entrepreneurs? Are they athletes?
It's a lot of business owners. A lot of business
owners.
That they don't really want people knowing what they have.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Well, they just don't want people knowing like what they own or how much it's worth.
Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
So, like, for example, they don't want people to know, oh, he's walking around with a $30,000 chain, for example.
Yeah. So they tuck it in or what?
No, they just don't want it publicized.
Yeah. Got it. And then do you work with a lot of athletes too?
Yeah, so I work with a lot of athletes. NIL's been kind of crazy. NIL has been...
Yeah.
It's been... Every year's just been kind of different. So I was working with athletes just as NIL was starting, and it was a lot of like silver, like let me get some silver chains, let me get this and that, and then every year it's just been compounding. Like these guys are getting money. Now they're just reaching out for, all right, I've been looking for this Rolex, I want this Rolex.
And do you source a lot of Rolexes, a lot of watches? How does that world work?
That world's been a little crazy too. I think I blame YouTube for it. So a lot of people, they'll hop on trends and think, oh, well, I've seen this guy kind of trading watches here and there. It seems pretty easy. But it's not. The real world's not really like that. So usually you have some dealers that you trust that you kind of work with directly. So I've been able to build kind of a network in that sense where I got some wholesalers, some dealers that I work with that will either front me a watch, they'll send me a watch if I have a client interested in it, or they'll just send me their
So, like,
catalog.
for instance, if somebody wants a certain model of a Rolex, you have a network robust enough to be able to source it
Yeah.
for your clients?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so last question as we wrap things up here. Living life by design. Talk to us about your definition of what that phrase means to you, and then give us a little bit of guidance on what people can do to live their life more by design instead of just by mere default.
I would say find something you're passionate about and try to figure out a way to monetize that passion. Whether it's, I mean, whatever it is, if you try to be the best at it, try to find a way where you can make that your daily life and build a design or build a blueprint for that. I would say.
Is it? I mean, how do people go about that? Like, I understand what you're saying, but practically, how do people do that?
I mean, I can only talk for myself. I mean, the reason I went on that trip to Mexico was to find myself.
And you were how old at the time?
I was 18.
18, young.
Yeah.
And that's interesting that you had that awareness at such a young age.
Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't know what I wanted to do in my life. I had no idea, but I knew I wanted to do something. So I had to go search for it and find what I was passionate about. So, I mean, I would say just try to look within yourself, try to experience a bunch of different things, find something that you're really passionate about.
And then how do you also mentioned monetizing it. How do you make sure that those passions are not just passion projects, but you can actually create something out of it where you can actually make a living, if you will?
Like I said, I can only speak for myself. I mean, I try not to look so much at the money aspect. I try to bring value to my clients, and in bringing value, they just continue to come back or tell their friends, and their friends come back to me.
Love it.
So, I mean, I've been able to monetize it in that way. And also, keep in mind, I didn't jump on my own until 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I was working at a manufacturer making jewelry for someone else. So, I mean, you also got to pay your dues. You can't just, I'm passionate about this one thing, I'm going to jump right into it. It doesn't really work that way. You got to be able to put the work in and learn from other people as well.
Love it. So put the work in, pay the piper, fall in love with the process, don't fall in love with the end result. I mean, he delayed gratification for many, many, many years, and now he's living his life with the design work that he put together, from age 18. And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you now?
32.
So from age 18 to 32, you guys saw some of that process, some of that design work, some of that blueprint that was put together. And now he's been able to put the train on the tracks, if you will, and living the life that he truly wants to live. Do you feel like you've hit the lottery, essentially, with the life that you're living right now?
I mean, I'm
definitely
family. I'm happy. I'm enjoying life. We're just getting started.
Yeah.
We're definitely just getting started.
So again, it takes that gut, it takes the grind, it takes the blinders being put on. And as Jared mentioned, when you're worried about the money, when you're worried about collecting that check without focusing on the value creation, that's when it's just not going to work out. Dollars follow value, not the other way around. So focus on value creation. Focus not only on serving your customers, focus on delighting your customers, creating them into fans of your work. And when you do that, when you put your customer at the forefront of what you're doing, you will receive that bounty, you'll receive that reward. Dollars follow value, not the other way around. This is Living Life by Design. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
All right, brother.